Bloomberg Television, the business of politics, and the politics of money. This is Political Capital.
And we begin the program with James Hoffa, president of the 1.4 million member International Brotherhood of Teamsters. President Hoffa, thank you for being with us.
Great to be here.
Let me ask you, this Labor Day weekend, what's the state of the American labor movement?
It's strong, it's vital, it's working very hard. We're going through a recession. That's no surprise to anybody. But I want you to know that we are working very hard. We're working on legislation. We've got Barack Obama in the White House, and we are working very hard to get our numbers up and to bring the dream of having a good union contract to more and more Americans every day.
Let me get to some of those specifics in a minute, but there actually have been some small gains in membership in the last year or two, reversing a trend. But 4 or 5 years ago, you and Andy Stern and the other Change to Win leaders promised that you would really out-organize what labor had done in the past. Those really haven't materialized as much as you hoped.
Well, the Teamsters are up. We're working very hard. We organized 50,000 people last year, which is, a record. SEIU did the same thing. But at the same time, you're losing. We're going through a tremendous recession, so there are layoffs, companies going out of business. So you basically, if you can keep your numbers up today, you're doing a tremendous job in this economy. And we're trying to change the law, too. We're working on employee free choice. We're working with the White House to change the law so more and more people can get organized.
Let's talk about employee free choice. What are the prospects for passing the Senate?
Well, we're working very hard on it right now. I think we can get it done.
You do.
But the problem is they're talking about half a loaf. They're talking about no card check. They're talking about some type of expedited election. But we'll see what happens. Right now, the big debate, obviously, here is health care. And that's what's taking up all the time
Let me get to health care in a minute.
That's we're going to, but after that, we're going to swing into employee free choice. And we think we're going to get something that's going to be much better than what we have now.
And you'll get it this year?
This year.
But there still may be some compromise. It may not be that whole loaf you want.
Yeah, well, we don't want compromise, but I'm telling you, it's very, very hard right now. And as the president's seeing, it's a very divided town, a very divided Senate, the danger of filibuster. So we're working very hard to get through all that and to get some kind of legislation that can work.
Is the White House working hard enough for you?
They are, but they're also working very hard on health care right now.
Well, you talk about health care. Let me talk about that. Are there any litmus tests? Does a health care plan have to have a robust public option for the Teamsters to support it?
I don't think so. I think it's important to get something done this time and declare victory. I think the goal is to go after those 50 million people that don't have health care. I think that's the goal. And I think, there's a lot of things that people want to do, but right now we got to find out what's doable. And if we can offer insurance to those people on some type of basis where they enroll and get these people health care, I think that's a victory right now.
So you'd like a public option, but it's not a deal killer.
It's not a deal killer for me. And I think what we've got to do is to move on, but we want to get those 50 million people insured in one way or the other and then move on. I think that's a victory for the president.
Let me ask you this, President Hoffa. Over the August recess, there were all these town hall meetings where they were dominated by opponents of health care reform, which is a major priority of organized labor. Were you guys out-organized over the August recess?
Well, first of all, it was organized by the right-wing elements in this country. And the people that were out there screaming and yelling, do you think those people voted for Obama? Those are basically people that are challenging his right to be president. And they use this as an issue to basically, get on scream on television and get on national news. And I think, if you really sat them down and asked them that, half of those people are probably on Medicare. It's such a joke to be worried about socialized medicine when a guy, you see some older guy up there, he's on Medicare, and he says, I don't like socialized medicine. You tell him, well, you're on Medicare? He says, yeah, I'm on Medicare. Oh, you want to give up your card? Oh, no, I don't want to give up my card. I mean, it's almost comical when you really call him on these different things.
The House has passed legislation that makes it easier for FedEx workers to join the same unions that represent UPS. What are the prospects in the Senate?
I think we can get it done. I think this is something that people are saying, why would we have two standards? Why would we have one standard that UPS is under the NLRB and FedEx is under a different law? And I think there's really a movement here to say, let's put them all together and let's give them the right to organize. And the Teamsters are very interested in organizing FedEx. We've got tremendous amount of people contacting us, drivers and workers for FedEx that want to be part of a union and can't because of the law.
Can you get any Republican support in the Senate?
We think so.
You do? So you get the 60 votes?
Well, we're going to see. We think we can. We're working very, very hard on it, and we're very encouraged.
As you know, for 20 years, the Teamsters have been under Justice Department oversight through a consent decree. In the campaign, candidate Obama praised your union for doing a terrific job, he said, for cleaning house. Have you had discussions, or you have any indications the administration may end this oversight?
No, we haven't had any discussions with them, but we intend to raise this, as we have for the past 5 years, to say, hey, we are a new union, we are a clean union, and we should not be under a consent decree. And we intend, to go to the Justice Department and go to the U.S. Attorney and say, let's settle this case. This is one of the oldest cases out there. It's a 1988 case, and it served its purpose. And now let's settle the case. Let's get the government out of our affairs, and let's return it back.
When
to
do you
the
hope it can be resolved by?
Well, I don't have a timetable, but we certainly want to begin. We've got to begin a dialogue and start talking to them. And it's a lawsuit that should be settled. What's wrong with that?
You and some other big unions we mentioned earlier split from the AFL-CIO several years ago. Critics, even supporters of labor, say, boy, a divided labor is a real problem. I mean, any chance of getting back together?
Well, we keep having talks all the time. We have a constant dialogue. And I think it's a working process. It's not happening right away.
Right.
We continue to talk. But I think what people should know is that we work together. We work together on politics. We go to the White House together. We were recently met the president, and there were 10 or 12 of the largest unions, whether it's AFL, CIO. The big unions work together. And whether we're, it's not about what federation you're in. It's what your goals are. And we do work together with the other major unions, whether they're in the AFL, CIO, or Change to Win.
But no formal national unity anytime in the near future.
Not in the near future.
You said you work together in politics. Some Democrats who you supported in the last couple elections, if they don't vote for health care or the Employee Choice Act, are you going to drop them this time?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're scoring, especially the Employee Free Choice Act. EFCA is very important to labor, and those people out there that say they're Democrats and share our ideals that can't back us on something that's so basic as this, we're certainly scoring and looking at it, and we're going to look at what they're doing, and we're going to look at options, because this is a litmus test. They say there's no litmus test. This is a litmus test, right. And we're moving ahead, and we're going to say, hey, this is something we need. This is something that should have happened 30 years ago. This is what everybody else has in the organized world. Every major democracy has card check and has this type of organizing, right. And we should have it here in America. And it's time for these politicians to stand up and vote the right way.
Okay, Jim Hoffa, thank you very much, and a happy Labor Day to you. We look forward to visiting with you again soon.
Happy Labor Day to you.
Thank you, sir.